maybe you can clarify something for me. Since I've been, waiting for the fleet to show up, I've read a lot.
Really?
And one of the things that keeps cropping up is this about subtext. Plays, novels, songs, they all have a subtext, which I take to mean a hidden message or import of some kind. So subtext, we know. But what do you call the message or meaning that's right there on the surface, completely open and obvious? They never talk about that. What do you call what's above the subtext?
The text.
Okay, that's right, but they never talk about that.
TBTL.
Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is?
It's Friday. Gonna get down on Friday.
Everybody's looking forward to the weekend.
Calamine lotion. Oh, no, not the lotion.
Yeah, this generation is all hacky sack and video games.
Ain't that the truth? Okay, this is a rumor that's out there on the internet, and you think it's nothing. Tell you what, I'm gonna look into it. This could be very interesting indeed. Okay, quick question. The internet, that's the one with email, right?
Yes.
Got it? I'm on it.
Well, hello, good morning, and welcome everyone to a Friday edition of TBTL, the show that just might be too beautiful to live.
It's called The Danger Witch, and it's dangerously good.
My name is Luke Burbank. I am your host.
Be careful, though. It's spicy.
Coming to you once again on a beautiful summer day. Absolutely picture perfect.
Oh, Ma, Pa, it's just beautiful.
I am feeling in exactly the right mood to do some power organizing and to really clean out the closet of TBTL, the audio closet, as it were, here on episode of 4,528 in a collector series.
Let the fun begin.
People call in, they leave us voicemail messages, they share their lives with us. And then we take those voicemail messages, we put them in a special folder somewhere on Andrew's desk, and then we forget to play them for months on end. Well, this week has been a real sea change when it comes to that stuff because we are playing them. We are giving you a chance to make your voice heard here on TBTL. If you left us a voicemail in the last few months,
they suddenly realized I was talking to them.
And that is what we are going to do once again today. We are going to play some more TBTL voicemails, and we are going to react to them, and we're going to do that with the help of this dude, the longest-running Cobra of the show, maybe best known for his depictions of the tall ships. He's known in some places as
Mr. Unlimited.
He's Andrew Walsh. He's joining me right now. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning. I would be lying. How we doing? How's everybody doing out there?
Hot start.
What?
Start.
That, I think, is a first for me. I couldn't get through my first sentence. That was we're in a bit of a time crunch today. Otherwise, I would force you to restart the show and redo your entire intro. My apologies.
I think it adds a little bit of texture. We have so many shows, Andrew, where we don't need the Heimlich.
That is true.
And, after, what is it? You said 4,528 shows, right? Mm-hmm. We've got to figure out ways to mix it up. And one of those ways is a medical emergency for one of the people. And I think it just happened.
You got Father Dunphy's prize wheel over there. What I need is some defibrillators over here on my end.
Yeah, legally, I think each radio studio is supposed to have. It's like a YMCA. There needs to be certain life-saving equipment that is publicly displayed and has the directions for how to operate it clearly marked on it.
Do you know that, and you're going to laugh at this, you're going to think this is like overkill, but because I use my home as an office and, a workplace, I legally have to have a sign in my bathroom that says employees must wash hands before returning to work, and I have it in there. I take it down on the weekends. That's why you've never seen it.
Now, are you more likely to wash your hands because of the sign instructing you to wash your hands?
I would wash my hands no matter what, obviously. I wash my hands every time I use the restroom.
Have we talked about
I go
this
into the
before?
restroom just to wash my hands.
Congratulations, Kate's husband. More bathroom talk.
That's right.
We were talking about using the restroom the other day and time spent. TSR. You've heard about TSL, Andrew.
time spent listening.
That's right. That's a radio term.
Radio, yeah.
Do you think they still do TSL? Is that still a thing for the
I'm
ratings?
guessing,
Probably.
yeah. Got to head down to boot camp.
But TSB is time spent bathrooming.
Oh, okay.
And I was saying how when I used to live with somebody, probably a wife, sometimes a child, I spent a lot of time in the bathroom, I think without even realizing it, because it was a sanctuary. But now I live...
It's a sanctuary bathroom.
Mm-hmm. And now that I live alone most of the time, I find I actually spend less time in the bathroom, or I spend the amount of time in the bathroom that I need to do whatever needs to be done. But then I don't linger in there. I don't tarry in there. I just kind of get up and leave because I'm just going into another part of my house where I'm also completely unbothered by anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I were to be, let's just say, watching the Seattle Mariners, and I realize, I've got to go to the bathroom. Number one, by the way, I want to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
I'm alone in my house. It's just me and my frustration with whatever Mariner is not doing what I want them to do in that moment.
You use the kitchen sink.
And I go into my bathroom and I pee. Is it incredibly gross if I were to not wash my hands after that in my own house alone?
Are you eating nachos?
That's nacho business. It's a very personal
Why
question.
Why is that so funny?
I don't know. It's terrible humor on a Friday. No, but I mean, I don't think that this is the case. I usually wash my hands even when alone because, for one thing, it's just a habit. And the other thing is, I just like my hands feeling kind of clean. You know, again, if you have been eating anything, if it's humid out, as my mom would say. Humidity. It's the humidity. My mom, I believe now, my mom might hear this, so she can correct the record or clarify. But I think that my mom used to think that, my mom grew up in Philadelphia where they say humid.
Born and raised.
It's a very humid day out there. And I think she used to think that when people, like in her social circle, would leave Philadelphia, like when she was maybe in her late teens, early 20s, when people were starting to go on with their life, I think she thought that my Aunt Mary Lou was trying to be very cosmopolitan when she moved out to California and then came back and said it was humid. I think I remember it being my mom being like, who do you think you are?
Using an H.
Saying humid.
Using that West Coast H.
Oh, I see. You've been out in California at the commune, and now you say humid.
Oh, we're pronouncing all the letters now.
But when it's humid and your hands feel sticky, I like the feeling of my hands being clean. I also have nice soap in my bathroom.
I thought you were going to say I have nice skin. You do have nice skin.
It's okay. I've got some oily Irish skin. But I like the feeling of my hands being clean. Is what I'm trying to say. I generally wash my hands, but there have to be a few times where maybe I want to run back out and see how Luke Raley is doing.
Sure.
And maybe I don't wash my hands. I want to be very clear. I would never do that at like a public place. I would never go into a bathroom at a restaurant or anywhere else, use the bathroom and not wash my hands. But I guess my question is it a little bit more acceptable at home if you live by yourself and nobody is going to be experiencing this in the short term other than yourself?
Well, I mean, that's, I guess, your own personal decision. Nobody would even know, so it's you. I'm sure many, many people do this. I mean, again, I just go back to thinking like, well, are you going to touch food? Are you going to reach into a bag of chips and possibly touch some that you're not eating right in the moment, and so you're spreading those germs, for tomorrow's chip eating? Like, I don't know. Are you grabbing some celery out of the
and also
fridge?
What's the half-life of those germs? Let's say that I'm getting some nachos. I'm getting some nacho chips. And I do get a little bit of my own funk on them, and then tomorrow,
I come over to watch the game with you, and you offer me a chip, and you
watch
hold
the
bag
fish?
out to watch the fish.
Coming over tomorrow.
Yeah.
Are you coming over tomorrow to watch the fish? I would love that.
Bring a little ZD.
Yeah.
So anyway,
the wife goes crazy
listen,
for that.
I'm not trying to sound unbending on this.
Sure.
All I'm saying is I wash my hands
Every time. On time,
also,
under
like,
budget. Promises made, promises kept.
I do wash my hands a lot. I don't think this is something I've always done, and it's not related to the pandemic. I think it's more related to me taking the bus everywhere these days. I've gotten into a habit of when I go into a restaurant, I sit down, I order, but before I do anything, especially if I have a beverage that I need to like squeeze a lemon or a lime into, like if I get an iced tea or something like that, I don't touch anything until I go into the restroom, wash my hands, and then I come back out. And I do think I got in that habit because because you get something called bus hands. Like when you ride on the E-line, you're touching those metal bars. You're touching maybe the seat in front of you. God knows what you're touching.
Yeah.
You just sort of, when you get off the bus, you just have this physical sense of that. I just kind of think
you kind of need to step into one of those secure chambers where they kind of spray you down with the disinfectant.
Yes,
like
exactly.
In Outbreak or something.
I call it Dustin Hoffmaning.
Yes.
So anyway, and now I'm just sort of in the habit of doing that because I'm just when I walk in, I'm like, I don't want to touch my food, and this doesn't have to do with going to the bathroom. It just has to do with like just touching things in the world and then touching food. I'm not I guess I'm making myself out to sound like a real freak about this stuff. I don't consider myself to be a freak. I never talk about it. I don't usually shame people, although I will always. I have fantasies about shaming men who I see leave the restroom without washing their hands. I just can't imagine that.
That one really, really gets to me, and I do have, I am very tempted to say something. I usually don't because it's like, A, it's not going to change their behavior. B, it might start some kind of a physical confrontation that I'm not trying to have at a Denny's. But it sure does make me mad when I'm even in the airport. I'm in a lot of airport bathrooms where I'm washing my hands, and then behind me, because of course there's always a big mirror, you just see somebody just come right away from the stall or the urinal, and then just bop right on out that door.
Sometimes the stall. So think about that. Okay, we got to get to the.
You know who does shame me? We should play the. Listen, I've got this prize wheel for a reason, and let's make good use of it. But I will just say very briefly. You know who kind of. I don't even know if it's actually shaming or not, but who gently reminds me about sort of hand hygiene is Becca.
Yeah, how does she remind you?
Well, first of all, she
carries around sanitizer.
She absolutely does, like a spray kind of sanitizer, and she is a very, very, very sort of clean person and washes her hands a lot. And if she was going to eat anything that was going to involve like her picking it up with her hands, if we go into a restaurant, she goes and washes her hands.
Yeah, me too.
But what usually happens is we sit down, and I'm just like hungry, and I'm feeling like I just want to dig into whatever this is, and I'll go to reach for the first thing, and she will hand me the hand spray.
Yeah. Because she's using the bathroom, she's availing herself of the sink and soap. See, that's the thing. I hate hand sanitizer. I hate the way it feels. It doesn't feel.
This isn't.
Like
for the record, it's not the stuff that we were all using during the pandemic.
Yeah, it's not like a gel.
It's not a gel.
Yeah, but the only time I use hand sanitizer is when I'm volunteering on Sundays because we're working with food, and so I'm kind of constantly, but it's also we don't have a sink. We're just setting up tables under a bridge. So if anything gets on my hands or whatever, I'm like kind of constantly using hand sanitizer. And that's, because I want my hands to be sanitized, but I also want the people I'm serving to see that we are conscientious about this. And so then by the end of the hour, when I'm like kind of driving home, my hands just feel so gross. I cannot wait to get to a sink and actually wash my hands because I've just been applying hand sanitizer the whole time. I know that's not what you're talking about.
I'm dying to ask
journey.
You what kind of hand soap you use at your house, but I see that even as we've been talking, more voicemails have been coming in, which is it's a real Gremlins situation here, Andrew. Why did we feed these voicemails after midnight?
Yes, I know.
We're trying to reduce down the voicemails, and instead we're just becoming a couple of compilers.
Yeah, yes, we are. I will say that, and I'm serious about this.
Okay.
I don't want to be negative about the voicemails. I feel like I've been listening to the voicemail line. I think you handed the keys to the voicemail line over to me when we made this our permanent job in 2015. So that's 10 years. And I think the voicemail line right now in this era is as good as it's ever been. People are calling in with all kinds of stories. I mean, it's always been good. The listeners have always brought it, but I just think that I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's video games or what, but people are just like really bringing great stories. So can you spin the Dunphy wheel?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I think also people are loving the new outgoing message.
Oh yeah, we changed it up before
for
we
the billboard.
Yeah, when we put that billboard
up.
When
we thought we were going to be deluged with calls by people that were like, what is this thing?
Yep.
And so we changed the outgoing message, and I think that's also helping. I
never got one call from a stranger who said, what in the tarnation is this billboard about? Never one.
We did find out from Bob in the morning that he was confused. That was that was as good as a voicemail.
That was as satisfied.
You got to check on that guy, see how he's doing.
I know.
All right, here we go.
Spin it.
All right, round and round it goes. Where it stops.
That's a good spin, man.
Nobody knows.
That's a good spin.
Okay, good. It went all the way around once. It has to do that
in
order to be a valid spin, and it landed on Kate.
Let me see. I know this voicemail. Actually,
Okay.
this is a relatively new one based on, a lot of them that we've been playing had to do with like my Splinter story, which seems like
ancient history, honestly. Snooze fest.
Yeah, this isn't ancient. This is still history. But this, I believe, I'm going to set this one up since I know it. I was telling you a while back that I went to see a concert, Luke.
Yeah.
Like a real rock and roller.
Sure.
It was the Pixies with our friend Uber Jen.
Yeah.
And Daniel. And the three of us went to see the Pixies. And Jen and I were really astounded that this fella in front of us recorded the entire concert. He might have put his phone in his pocket once, but I don't even know if that happened. And you and I were talking about it. So we're talking about landscape and versus
where was his mind?
Portrait. Where was his mind? And
with your phone in the air and your butt in the seat.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Do you want to do any more? Should I just continue? Anyway, I was just astounded. And like Jen is like younger and way more like kind of plugged in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, way plugged into like social media and all that stuff.
I see her on TikTok all the time.
Yeah, of course. She's like literally a professional at that.
Digital native.
She's
I
a
think
digital
is what we're
native.
dealing with here.
So when I and I really try not to be like the old man who shakes his head and be like, oh, put the phone down and enjoy the concert. If you're not harming other people, if you're not blocking other people's view, do what you want. But like, I don't know.
Have
for
you,
me,
in the last 3 months, said the words "for crying out loud"?
For crying out loud. I love that phrase. Reminder to use that more. Anyway, I was kind of like, wow, this guy. And I didn't say anything, though, because I didn't want to seem even older to Jen. But I think Jen might have pointed out to me first, like, this guy's taping the whole show. And I was astounded by that. And we got this voicemail from Kate, as you said.
Okay.
Hey, Cobras. Kate from North Carolina.
Nice.
I'm listening to episode 4510, and y'all are talking about filming, like, live shows. The convo seems more about, like, landscape versus portrait. But I went to a show, the band Jungle, a few years ago, and this guy elbowed his way up to the front row, elbowed me out of the way of the front row, continued to film the entire thing on his phone, standing in front of me, while also being tall. And then, like, me and my whole group were really frustrated by it because he's ruining, like, our experience of this whole show. I mean, he turns around at some point and he's like, I'm filming this for a friend of mine who has cancer and wasn't able to come. And it was just like,
my God.
So now you're going to, like, guilt me into feeling bad about being frustrated?
Okay, I'm going to pause it here for a second because I want to say that is when Jen and I were kind of like, during the concert, we didn't have an extended conversation about this. I don't want to exaggerate it, but I was like, he's filming the whole thing or whatever. And Jen did say, he might be doing it for somebody who can't be here. She noted that he was at the show by himself. She said, he's here by himself. He might be taping this for somebody who can't be here with him. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But it sounds like Kate is not buying this at all. The heartstrings have not been pulled.
Wasn't able to come. And it was just like, so now you're going to, like, guilt me into feeling bad about being frustrated. And then him and the person he's there with is also talking about how this is, like, the third or fourth time that they've seen them, this band. And I'm like, this is my first time. Probably one of the only times. And you're ruining this for me. And I was so frustrated about it. I'm not really a confrontational person, so I didn't really want to say anything about it. But, I rolled my eyes a lot. I huffed as much as that does any good in a loud space. But anyway, I was thinking about it, and it was making me frustrated all over again.
Oops.
This was probably like 7 years ago, so, whatever.
The North
Thanks
remembers.
So much. Bye.
The North remembers.
The North Carolina remembers.
I want to take this in a slightly different direction than might seem obvious, but Kate said something there that's got me pondering, Luke. It's the question to ponder.
Yeah, it is.
It's something that we're
obsessed with.
Trademarking here. It's a TBTL original idea. She said, this is the first time I've seen this band Jungle, and maybe one of the only times.
And their big hit?
No.
The Back on 74.
Wait a second, this sounds just like Portugal the Man.
It does sound a bit like that, doesn't it?
Seriously, I was like, I know this song. And I was like, no, that's
we go.
Portugal the Man.
Are you familiar with
this is a classic. This is a classic. All right, we got to stop that because we're going to get in trouble for YouTube's. But I was going to say, I guess, unless you're somebody who really follows a band around, and obviously there are people like that who see a band live, dozens, if not 100 times in their life or something like that.
Shadoobies.
You and I are not. Yeah, exactly, right? I'm not like that, and it's making me think, when you go see a show, quite often for me, it's like, this might be the last time I ever see, this might be the first and last time I ever see this band live. And now I'm trying to think, what bands of significance, not friends bands or whatever, have I seen the most? And the Pixies, I guess I've seen twice. I think I saw the B-52s twice. What band have you seen the most? And you can't count like Friends or people who played on Livewire, that kind of thing.
Well, it's got to be Wilco for me.
Oh, yeah? How many times?
Wilco / Jeff Tweedy solo. I mean, I've probably seen Wilco maybe 6 times.
Oh, okay. See, that's a real one.
Yeah, the real ones know.
Yeah.
Wilco's one of those things, one of those bands that, if they're in a town and they're playing and the tickets are not sold out and I'm around, you'll probably find me there.
Mm-hmm.
Becca and I went and saw them during the pandemic, actually, I think, or maybe the tail end of it. I mean, people were allowed to go into theaters, but I think we were masked, maybe.
So you're the super spreader.
I've seen them at the Summer Nights at the Pier back in Seattle. I saw them at the King Cat Theater with my sister Liz.
Is that around anymore?
I don't think so. I saw Jeff Tweedy. Famously, in the lore of TBTL, I saw Jeff Tweedy solo at the Old Crocodile, which is where I yelled at a guy to shut up.
Shut up your face,
and it made it onto the bootleg recording of that show, which I was very proud of. Yeah. And then the guy came up to me after the show and yelled at me and said, "Don't you ever say that to me again." And I thought, I can probably commit to that.
Yeah,
what are the chances we're both going to be at a show together and I'm going to have to yell that at you
again?
Well,
it sounds like you might be at another Wilco show together.
Yeah.
I've seen Wilco once. This is a really interesting question for me. I feel like there's a band that I must have seen more than twice, but I can only think of the Pixies and B-52s.
I think I might have seen Wilco more than 6 times because I've seen them at Sasquatch multiple times. I saw them at the Thing Festival that we were at. I believe they were the headliners.
Yep.
I think I've seen Wilco like 10 times easily. You know who I would like to... And I'm going to be going and seeing them when they come through the Portland area again in September, is Big Thief.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
I think I've seen them maybe 2 times. And the shows, Adrian Lenker is such a, the whole band.
Genius.
But particularly Adrian Lenker is such a genius musician, songwriter, performer that I'm like, the last time that I saw them, I just stood there, one arm around Addie, one arm around Becca, just sort of borderline sobbing / singing at the top of my lungs the whole show. Like, I think I'm becoming the kind of person that if Big Thief is playing and I'm in the area, I'm going to the show.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I've seen Belly twice. Okay. Once when they were in their heyday, and then once at the 20th anniversary of that same tour, just kind of recently last winter, I think. So I saw Belly twice. But
now, can we just, I don't want to get all New York Times ethicist on it.
Oh, no.
I'm actually proud that I said ethicist.
That's pretty good.
Upon first attempt.
Yeah, I've stumbled on much easier words today.
But this question of, I'm making everyone's experience worse here at this concert because I'm trying to make someone else's experience better, somebody who's dealing with illness. That's a complicated one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the act of doing that is a very kind thing, but the act of, I don't want to say making it someone else's problem because that sounds incredibly callous. But you know what I mean? Like, kind of using that as a sort of carte blanche.
I also don't believe this guy.
Well,
and there's also a way. First of all, there's a way to do this that isn't as rude too. It sounds like Kate said, like, he pushed his way up front. He was just boorish. He said this. Who knows if he's?
But here's the thing.
But how is like seeing shaky cell phone footage of an entire concert? Like, I understand, like, you love somebody and maybe they're in really bad shape and like, you don't even know how much time you have with them. Like, I understand, like, maybe one song, or really, like, get a T-shirt and take photos of you and your friends together and let them know we wish you were here. We were thinking of you the whole time.
Yeah.
But I don't think that is an excuse to, if you're ruining somebody else's experience, hold up your phone. And I will say, and again, I'm not trying to, I really enjoyed that show, but it was a little distracting with this guy holding his phone up the whole damn time.
Yeah, well, the reason I think they might not have been lying was because they were with a friend.
Oh, that's true.
Can you imagine? We go to a show.
Yeah, and
I mean,
just pull
sadly,
that out.
I think you can imagine because you know me. But like, imagine being the other person. So like you and I are at a concert and I'm really into it. It's Big Thief. And I really want to tape it for some reason on my phone. So I muscle my way to the front. I somehow get you to do. I mean, this entire hypothetical is breaking down very rapidly because you would never come with me on this journey. You would never elbow your way to the front of the crowd with me. But let's just say we're there. I'm filming. It's obviously annoying some people. And I turn around to them and I go, I'm filming this for my friend with cancer. Yeah. And you're just, this is news to you. I mean, what a bad spot to put your friend into.
Can I tell you something that I'm just remembering that I wanted to tell you a long time ago? When we were in Friendship, Wisconsin.
Yes.
Okay.
Who can forget?
The reason I'm telling the story is because that idea of a communal lie, let's call it that. There was a situation where I wanted to lie about something, but you and me and John were all there together, and I wasn't sure if we were all ready to lie together.
Right,
we
hadn't made a plan.
I don't know if you know where I'm going with this, but we were in the back of that taxi driven by Crystal.
Sure.
And she said, what do y'all, it was like a minivan that she was driving us from our Airbnb to this bar, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. And she said, what are y'all doing in town? Are you just like having a boys' weekend or something? Or boys, I don't know what she said.
I think she said, are you having a boys' weekend?
Yeah, the reason I'm kind of backing off of that is because I think this was a Tuesday. But I do think she said, are you having a boys' weekend? And the whole van went silent. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes.
It went totally silent because if I was in that van by myself, I don't know exactly what I would have said, but it would have been very vague and probably a lie. But I was with you guys, and so I wasn't sure if we were all into this idea of not talking about the podcast.
This happened, I believe, a few times on that trip, if I remember. A few times where we were not, of course, talking to the folks, that were into this idea, whether it was the Historical Society folks or the whatever, other people. But when we were talking to just some kind of civilians, a couple of times in town, I remember that moment where somebody asked us, like, what are you doing here?
At that bar, the Slip-In,
At the Slip-In,
I think.
the guy was
ready to lie.
Les the drummer.
Less is more.
And he asked, what are y'all doing here? Well, so back to the car ride. I'm 100% with you. If I were by myself in that van and I was here somehow doing TBTL and the person asked me about it, I would have absolutely lied. Because I would not have wanted to get into it. What happened was, and if I remember right, I think I was the one who volunteered the information that we do a podcast.
It was awkward. You and I are not comfortable with silence, and so it was funny. Like there was like 2 or 3 seconds of silence, and I was like, "This is really awkward." She must think we're murderers or something. Nobody is saying why we're in town.
And like the reason that I didn't lie was because the same reason you didn't lie, because we had not made some sort of plan as to what is our cover story. The irony, Andrew, that we would fly all the way to Wisconsin to do our podcast, to try to grow our audience, raise money, promote the show. But that our biggest failing was we forgot what our lie was going to be to not talk about the very reason we were there.
Crime. We're here to do crime. Just like the worst lie possible.
Right, exactly.
Something much worse.
But not arson.
No, that's a lot of buildings burned down there.
But someone beat us to that.
Yes,
they're in Friendship. Right. But it's funny how that kind of dynamic works, because I'm with you. I would have if I was by myself, and I have many times, and I will many times going forward. I often lie about what I'm doing in a town if I'm there for CBS. Even if I'm there for Livewire, because I don't feel like getting into it. I just don't want to have the larger conversation about it. But because we were all together, you and John and I were all together in that car, I also didn't feel comfortable just going, we're here for a plumbing conference.
That's right.
Here's
we're
the thing.
The plumbers.
With that, we're doing break-ins. We're doing crime here as the plumbers. I don't know if you heard about our work at Watergate. It didn't go super well.
We got the band back together.
Yeah, we did. But the thing is, here's the other energy that I don't really like is being, I don't know why, but being in a group of guys and lying to a person who's in a service position, whether it's the maybe the waitress at a restaurant or the person driving you. There's something that feels gross and
shitty,
chauvinistic to me about being like,
I know what you mean.
Hey man, we're here for a real estate conference, right? And I'm looking at you,
and elbowing each other,
and I know how you and John get.
Yeah,
just absolutely toxic
very
male energy.
Toxic. Well, mostly him.
But you know what I mean, like. that also would have felt bad to me to lie to this person's face with you all knowing that I was lying and kind of then being in on it. I don't like that energy either. So I had no choice but to make a friend and a new listener. I want to thank new donor Crystal.
That's right.
From Adams Friendship Cab Company.
Dazzling donor level.
Right.
Okay, listen here.
Okay, one more quickie.
Can you spin that wheel again?
I sure can. Hold on.
Oh man,
I had
you
brought the band.
No,
I brought the band Jungle in to perform their hit "Back on 74," so that you'd be able to kind of so I could jog your memory on that.
You know what? Lying is awful. Why would somebody lie about what they're doing?
All right, hey guys, thank you very much. Yeah, no, that's
you guys
good.
were great.
No, that was perfect. Okay, I need you to move though. You're blocking the prize wheel.
You sound just like you did in the 70s.
You call it a tote wheel in England? Oh, we call it a prize wheel over here. Okay, yeah. All right, thank you. God, you
should have given them a mic. We could have interviewed them. Oh, well.
Yeah, that would have been kind of a good.
Yeah.
I didn't even think what a good get that was. All right, here we go. I've got the prize wheel back.
Oh, nice.
And Andrew, I'm going to be honest. I was hoping it would stop on Carolyn. Did it?
It did. It looks like you got Carolyn there. If I can see that clearly, you're closer to it than I am.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you.
Than I do.
I set up. I set up that other voicemail from Kate, but I don't have any idea what this one is about. So let's hear it.
Flying blind.
Hi, lovies. This is Carolyn. And
okay.
Hi, lovies.
Love it. I don't know if she said lovies or hubbies, but I'll take either one.
I think lovies.
Hi, lovies. This is Carolyn in Encinitas, and I was just listening to the show while I make dinner, as usual. And your dazzling donor today was Chris from the Little Theater.
Oh, yeah, in Tacoma.
She was just saying that they had a TBTL meetup at Seven Seas Brewery, and that's my cousin's beer company. He has breweries in Tacoma and Gig Harbor.
Nice.
And he sells Seven Seas beer up in Washington State. Anyway, I got all excited because there's a little TBTL connection with my cousin. All right, talk to you later. Good show. What you do is always done.
No, that's very sweet. I love that, and I also understand why you would feel compelled to tell that story. It's just like you're like, what? That's my cousin. That's my cousin. You just get excited. You need to tell people. Yes.
Yeah. When you hear your cousin's business being promoted in a way on TBTL for a TBTL event or a get together or what have you, or just Chris's sort of dealings as the Little Theater manager, proprietor, president, client.
And a client.
Yep. That would be very, very exciting. Oh my goodness gracious. What a time for her. By the way, I love her saying lovies.
Me too.
I'd really like to promote that maybe as the new dummies. Could lovies be the new dummies?
The Hey Lovies. Hey, lovies. Actually, I love that.
Lovies is the new dummies.
I'm on the Seven Seas Brewing website right here. It's beautiful. I did have to say I'm over 21, which...
Yeah.
Oh, wait. No, I am over 21. Okay,
you had to say you are wearing headphones?
And I had to...
a little Riverside humor here on a Friday.
Riverside humor between two guys who have to click a button every single day that says I am wearing headphones.
Yes.
I just wish it would remember.
That's our burden that only you and I can really understand, Andrew.
They're using AI for all this shit that I do not need. Tell the AI, yes, I'm wearing headphones every day. Or AI, tell the machine. Like, just can we put this stuff to use in a way that has
Siri,
some sort of useful...
Will you tell Riverside that, yes, we are wearing headphones? We do this a lot. There should be a...
Is Siri in Jungle?
Yes, she is. She's the fourth tambourinist. All right, my friend.
What do you think? Is that it?
Listen, I'm not. This dinosaur isn't going to slide down itself on this Friday, my friend, and I'm just the person to do it. So that is going to be the end of this broadcast week, and I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us and being part of TBTL. It means the world. Hey, if you would like to continue creating a problem for Andrew by calling in and leaving us more voice,
problem.
It's a blessing.
I love them, lovies.
Please call 206-414-TBTL and leave us a voicemail message, and we will play it eventually. All right, thanks again, everybody. Have a great Friday. Take care of yourselves, and please remember, no mountain too tall.
And good luck to all.
Hey guys, this is Bob giving you a call, just wishing you well, and thanks for coming for the week. And by gosh, we will see you again down the road, I hope. And no, you do not have permission to steal the question to ponder. You can license it from me though, if you'd like to. Call me back. Thanks guys, bye.
Power out.